Welcome, Sophie Wells.
Thank you.
We are excited to have you on.
Yes.
We're going to pick your brains.
Guest 2.
Guest 2? Oh, okay. I wasn't number 1, but it's fine. We'll let you off.
Well, you've been talking about it for a while, to be fair.
know.
So we've had you in the pipeline.
Thanks.
And
Love it.
just so excited, to be honest, to ask you everything that there is to know about off-plan.
Off-plan.
The
Everything
world
flipping.
of off-plan. Yeah. Flipping, off-plan, and yeah, buying from a developer, I guess.
Yeah, 100%.
Because that's a whole league of its own.
So how long have you actually been in Dubai?
So I've been in Dubai for like nearly 9 years, which blows my mind sometimes. Yeah.
That is crazy.
Yeah. Came over because my parents were living my dad was living here. So that just kind of drew me over. And then I started off as an agent, a very average agent, very average, and then switched in, and I was doing that for like 2.5 years, nearly 3 years, and then switched into developer just after COVID.
What made you switch? The fact that you were a bad agent.
You know what? You know what? It was a bit of a random one. I just realised that I was really good with buyers and not so good with sellers. Like I struggled with it here. I was always a buyer's agent. That was the only thing that I really, and I loved it. Like I actually enjoyed it. But when it came to like negotiating with sellers, I would always try and like, even if I had my own listings, I'd almost like push the client into buying something with somebody else's seller. So that I didn't have to do any of the negotiation, even though like sometimes the fees can be like, you're obviously making your fees less, but it was just, I just hated it.
Yeah.
So then when I moved to, and switched and started working for a developer.
That's a mad reason, but I
know, but it's just like, I just knew what I was good at, and I was like, that was not my lane. But now, obviously, because I work for a developer, we're the seller. So
Yeah,
I am the seller now. So then I only work with buyers and I only work with agents, and it is, I said this on like another podcast before, but it's like just like it is like glorified PR.
Yeah,
my job is honestly like glorified PR, because it's like
you're representing. So who are you representing? Who do you work for? Tell the people.
I mean, I will always try to work for the buyer, and I think I'm like, I don't know if there's such thing as this, but I would say I'm like too honest in ways.
There's no such thing.
But that's respected especially out here, where a lot of brokers would just try and go and get, not that you're a broker, but a lot of brokers would go and try and get a sale just by any means necessary, whereas
promising the world and giving ridiculous numbers, and you're just like, who told you that?
Yeah.
Who told you that you could get that? Because it's like insane.
The comps that they come out with sometimes is crazy.
I know, like comparing, like we get it all the time. Obviously, we'll talk about Six Senses in a bit, but we get it all the time, and they'll compare like Six Senses to some completely different building, and I'm like, okay, you got
Tiger Tower name.
Like you've got to compare apple to apple. Like you cannot just start. It's like comparing a Ferrari to like a Nissan. You can't do it. You can't compare the Nissan. Sorry. You can't compare like the brake horsepower of that compared to that. It's a pointless exercise, but people do it, and it is a bit of a nightmare. So yeah, technically I still try to work for the buyer, but I think I do sometimes leave that down to the broker, because most of the deals that we close are through brokers. So then I'm technically just representing the seller, and the broker will represent the buyer, and then it's kind of a package done like that.
So is your role like sort of to be successful doing what you do? Is it a lot about creating relationships with agents then?
Yeah, it's all about that. For Select, because Select have, I would say 95% of our business is closed through brokers.
Wow.
Which is high. Whereas other developers are probably very different percentages, maybe 60-40, maybe 70-30. So I would say we're one of the highest broker sales. So yeah, our bread and butter is with the brokers. So my job is to build connections with them.
How do you, what do you think is the blueprint to that? What would you recommend if you were like, you've got an agent starting out in off-plan and they're thinking, right, okay, let's make some connections. How can they go about doing that?
That's a good question, actually, because I always look at it from like what we do. From a developer, like from my side of things, I just try and be a genuinely like good person. And I know that sounds really stupid, but like the amount of people that are just not, like I'm just authentic. And like I'll always say to people, like there's like 7 of us in the sales team. Everyone in the team speaks multiple languages, etc. But like for me, I try to offer like okay, you're not forced to work with me. There are 6 or 7 other people in the team that you could work with also. Like if you rather click with them, you can work with them. And naturally people will always end up coming back to me because I've not like cornered them.
You don't gatekeep.
I'm not like, you have to work with me and you cannot work with anybody else.
Yeah.
It's not like that, like desperate grab and like don't want to let them go, which I think some developer agents probably do.
Yeah, but I think that plus the fact that you're honest, that would actually bring more business than chasing a sale or being desperate about it, because buyers, sellers, they can smell desperation.
I know.
If someone's trying to get a listing, well, have you got anyone for, to come and view this, or are you literally just trying to pitch for a listing and you're saying you're going to have your feel with it? It's just, you'd rather pay a full fee for someone that's actually going to sell it than someone that's going to list it for
100%.
X amount of months.
Yeah, 100%. And I think that's why I've always done it. And obviously I've got time on my hand. Like I've been there for 5 years and I think the person after me has been there for like 3.5. So like naturally I have been there longer. So just naturally I don't know.
You rule the roost?
No, I wish. I wish, but no. I think it's just, I don't know. I'm just comfortable there, which staying in your comfort zone is not always a good thing, but I feel like I'm always like trying to grow. I've worked with some, like honestly, some unreal agents, and I've worked with some terrible ones.
Yeah.
You really see like the best of the best and the worst of the worst. You probably see it as well doing what you're doing. Like you must be like, how do they make any money?
Yeah.
And the irony is some of the worst agents I know actually make really good money.
Oh, I know.
And you're like, how
it's
is
the
this
worst
happening?
thing in the world.
Yeah.
How is this happening? You know, you're like, oh my God. But
some of them are just bankrolled by like 1 or 2 clients that just buy and buy and buy, and they've not got lucky because fair enough to them, they've done that. But in terms of, I think a good agent is someone that gives you like honest advice.
100%.
They have really good comparables, because that's ultimately what you're in a market where it's buying and selling. And if you've got good comparables to compare it to, and in what we do, we need to know roughly what we're going to be able to exit for as a conservative number, bar anything going wrong in the market. And I think that that's quite a simple principle for an agent to get right.
Yeah, being able to tell a buyer not to buy something.
Yeah.
Or I remember you told me that story.
Yeah, about my clients.
I actually had that today. So we've got I'm meeting him later actually, a potential investor client. He asked me about this off plan, and I don't know off plan, which is part of the reason why we got you on the podcast to talk about it. But I can't remember the name of the development, Reportage Village or something. They're building it near where we live in Arabian Ranches 3.
On D54.
Yeah. I don't have a clue about the developer. I don't know what comparables this broker's given him. He's basically just asked me for impartial advice. And I said, look, I need to do a bit more digging to be able to give you proper advice. But in terms of the fact that you're looking at a townhouse community, townhouses, I think, are a safe bet to place your money. But then you're looking at a developer that I haven't really heard of them.
As well known.
Yeah,
haven't got as big a name in the market.
So what comparables are you using for that? You can't be using Arabian Ranches 3 next door because that's an EMAR community.
So it's going to sell itself. Yeah, I think that's the thing. It's that being able to say, actually, based on what you've told me and based on your requirements, I don't think this is a good buy for you. Yeah. And maybe something else is better.
Yeah.
Do you know how many people would find that impossible to do?
Yeah.
There's so many agents in the market that would
dangle commission
wouldn't ever come out of their mouth. They wouldn't ever be able to say, actually, that's not a good deal. Let's try and find something else.
And one thing we've recently, I don't know if we mentioned this on the last podcast, but one thing that we do now, if we're pitched a deal and it looks good to us and we're like, yeah, we should probably go for that, we'll still call an agent that's not involved in this whatsoever, that we've got a relationship with, that typically sells that area, and get their view on it and what they think. Not because they're going to then try and tell us no to get us out of the deal, but genuinely what they think. And you normally get sounder advice from an agent that's not trying to push a deal on you.
That's impartial.
Yeah.
It is true. And
just to verify.
Yeah. And I think sometimes that's when the broker comes... That's when I have to work really closely with the brokers and like really make sure I'm working with good brokers, because my like moral compass, if based on what the client has told me, and I'm like deep down, I'm like, I don't think this is the right project, and it does happen.
Yeah.
It's not for everybody, and they keep pushing. I'm like, I just think there could be other projects that would suit for that person. And then I've had some clients or agents where they'll take them to something else. They'll call me and I'll be like, that is your perfect client for Six Senses.
Yeah.
What are you doing? And I'm like, I have to almost like, not micromanage agents. That's not the right word. But like, make sure that, almost like steer them in the right direction where I'm like, this might not be the right one for them. Like we get it all the time when agents come to us and they're like, I've got a client, they want to flip in 6 months. So they want to buy something off plan that's 3 years away from completion, buy and flip in 6 months. Yes, it's possible. If the developer allows it and you've got, because some developers have like, you have to pay 30% or you have to pay 40% or 50%. There's a set amount before you can resell it. So with us, you have to pay 40%. So yes, if you pay the 40% tomorrow, you can resell it tomorrow. We don't care.
Yeah.
Do what you want. We'll give you the NOC, sell away. But are you going to get the appreciation that broker promised you in 6 months?
It's tough.
No, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Like you're not going to see those 25, 40% because you're still so far away from completion. Whereas, 6 months prior to completion or closer or just after handover, that's when you see the biggest numbers. But we get it all the time. Agents or clients coming to us and say, oh, I bought this unit from you guys and the agent said I could flip it in 6 to 8 months. And I'm like, well, I don't know who told you that, but it's like, yes, you can if you want to make 6% or 4% or a smaller percent and you don't want to be greedy. But if you are looking for the 25, 30%, it's like, you're just going to have to hold on to it.
Yeah.
But people get promised the world and
they do. And I think that what we see as well, sometimes that we're pitched is, because I get pitched off plan sometimes. We've not really dabbled in it yet.
I try and talk you into it like so much. I'm like, come on, you need to look at, because you guys flip
looking
Reddit.
at this today and like researching even just like more into it in preparation for this chat. It's
it's a different.
It's exciting.
It's more hands off than what you guys are obviously used to, because you guys are used to being like, you're buying something, then you're handling the full renovate, like all the plans, the full renovation, all the way through to like literally from start to finish. And you're so hands on, and it's like manual labor in some ways. Like you're literally, it's not like from a laptop transferring money. It's not passive.
Manual labor.
But I know, but it's like, it's the opposite of passive for you guys. Like it's intense.
It really is.
Whereas I would say off plan is a lot more passive. You kind of just go, you spend, I'd say the hardest part of it is finding the right project. After that, it's easy.
Yeah.
After that, you're not really doing anything.
100%.
You're just waiting for the right time to sell.
Yeah.
So I think that's the difference, and you guys would need to like let go of the control of it a little bit.
That's not even it. Like we'd actually love to do it. I think what's always confused me is like the payment plan structure. I feel like some of them now are so cheeky with it being like majority post handover, everything like that.
Yeah.
I think it's things like that put me off, especially because we love to leverage the banks.
Yeah.
Like, is that an option with off plan? Like,
it's a good question. I mean, yes, you can. In terms of the only time you can mortgage off plan is on completion.
Yeah.
Which sounds a bit backwards, but essentially if it's like a 40-60 payment plan or 50-50, the 50 during construction, you've got to have it cash.
Yeah.
You can't mortgage that unless you're taking out a bank loan from somewhere.
Yeah.
But essentially you need to pay that in cash. The completion amount, so on completion, we'll contact all our owners and say, right, you owe us 70% of the amount. At that point, when we've got the building completion certificate, that's when they can apply for mortgage. And then, okay, if you're entitled to an 80% loan to value, you would get 80% of that 70%.
okay, yeah.
So you still also need to pay another amount, but you have
So
funding.
they don't mortgage the full full amount of the property?
Not usually. No, unless you're Emirati or something, and then you obviously got different rules around it. But most of the time they'll give you a certain amount of that amount that's due.
That makes sense.
Yeah. So like with our 6 senses, that's on 30/70. So people only need, it's starting price 10.5 million, but
that's crazy though.
30% of it is all you need for 3 years.
Which is better than if that was your second property, you'd be putting down 40% on a mortgage.
Yeah. And then the
on
70 in 3 years, when maybe your finances are different, then you can mortgage the 70 then, or resell it before. Like I've got clients that have absolutely zero intention of paying that 70%. Not even on their radar. Irrelevant.
Do you think it's risky for the clients that have bought with obviously knowing that they're going to be paying 30 to handover and they're banking on getting that resale, and they don't actually have the cash to pay? Because what's the penalties there if they miss that last handover payment?
Good question. It varies between project and obviously it varies between developer, but usually, yeah, I mean, it depends. Like they're going to give them certain time frames to pay, and if they don't, but yeah, it is a risk. But it's always a risk. Any investment is a risk in some way or another. But I think, again, it comes down to the project in terms of the element of risk that they have.
Area, surely.
Yeah, you've got to find something. If you're planning on buying to resell with no intention of paying that 70%, you need to find something that's niche.
Yeah.
You can't buy something like these apartments in JVC where it's like, okay, you're buying a studio or a one bed in JVC. In that 5 kilometre radius, there's hundreds of that type of unit. Like, what's special about yours?
They're all different developers as well.
All different developers. It's like Legoland. Honestly.
I steer clear of JVC as much as possible.
I think it's like entry to the market JVC, and they have some nice projects actually. They do.
They do. Ellington are there. They've got a few nice bits going on.
I think the difference is like you say with the buying to resale structure. Again, you need something that's unique. Niche, that's unique. Otherwise, you are going to be limited on your resale options.
I think especially in the apartment space.
Yeah, townhouses less so.
Yeah. But because of how much stock apartments are in Dubai, I think that I mean, we've just done a renovation in one, and it'll probably be the last apartment that. I mean, I might eat my words here, but I think the last. See you in 6 months with your next apartment. I'll remind you of that. Yeah, I mean, we made good money on the buy, which is why we did it. But we're definitely steering towards the townhouse village, just because I see that's where I think the demand is going, because you've got the likes of Six Senses coming in. Obviously higher price bracket in the marina, and the marina's not got too many other developments. Because a lot of it's already built on. So I think that is obviously why it's a niche product, and then everything else. I mean, you can tell us a bit more about Six Senses and Select Group, because you don't just sell Six Senses, do you?
So not usually. At the minute. So obviously I've been with Select for like 5 years. Throughout my time, I mean, I joined when we were selling Marina Gate.
Oh, we park in there all the time.
That's literally
nicking all the parking.
Marina parking.
Get the little red coin.
So that's when I joined when we had Marina Gate, and then obviously we've got 14 towers in the marina. Six Senses is the 15th. So Marina Gate, number 9, Studio 1, Botanica, West Ave, like all of these buildings in the marina. And it always makes me laugh because people always say like, oh yeah, you know that like one of the modern towers in the marina. What is it? Oh, Botanica. And I'm like, modern? I'm like, oh my God, that building's 13 years old. Like, it's insane. But that's what people look for.
Yeah.
Like, people, like,
it's because the competition is so slim.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, so many developers here, like if you look at something that's like 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, it looks ancient.
Yeah.
Imagine in the UK, you bought a property for you bought a brand new build house in the UK, right? And then someone said, in a couple of years, you can just upgrade. What, I'm just going to upgrade my, you'd be like, what? I just bought a new build house. I'm 25 years minimum. I want to be in this place before I have to start jazzing, ripping out the kitchen and the floor.
I know.
So it's like,
but it's because they made them so horrible.
I know, brown.
Yeah.
Dark wood,
closed everything.
Closed kitchens, and now everyone's opening them out, making them modern. So I think with Select, that's another one we build, and it's quite timeless, which again is like a niche. I don't think every developer does it. We're from the UK, so we adopt European UK build standards, but here, which again,
a niche
people don't do.
No.
So yeah, I think we just that's the standards that we adopt, and then we done Six Senses, Peninsula and Business Bay, Six Senses on the Palm hands over at the end of this year, and then we did Six Senses in the Marina.
Oh yeah, because there's one on the Palm as well, isn't there?
Yeah, so Palm hands over. We're supposed to complete in December, probably start handover in Jan. And when that hands over, I think.
And Six Senses, is that obviously you've got what else is in the? You've got that Frank Muller building in the marina, and you've got they're launching other ones, I think, in Business Bay, and is Six Senses considered a branded residence? Is that part of the niche to it, because it's a hotel chain?
Exactly. Yeah. So Six Senses is one of the. Well, it is. It's the highest 5-star luxury wellness hotel brand, hospitality brand. The word wellness is quite key because there's so many high-end hospitality brands, like Four Seasons and things like that, one and only, etc. Like there is some really niche ones, but for Six Senses to be in the wellness space makes it a totally different ball game. That's kind of where the direction that everything is heading in Dubai, especially. I think
so true.
I spoke. Yeah, it's like a movement. Yeah. I would say it's not even just like a vibe that people are going for. It's a whole movement.
Massively.
Like,
Athlon, I think. Well, I mean, I was actually listening to a podcast the other day and like they were saying whoever does that right, like just smashes the wellness lifestyle, like outdoors living.
100%.
Whoever does that best.
They'll clean up because you have to be so forward thinking. And again, that's why I think Select and a few other developers are doing that. I think some people are still quite far behind and they need to like start thinking more forward because you know, like it's an absolute game changer now.
Need more than a few paddle courts.
Yeah. I'm talking like saunas, steam rooms, spas, like
fun pools.
That's honestly
not just a bin.
A bin with ice in it.
Yeah.
God, on the beach. Oh my God, why do they do that?
But what kind of like investors do you actually attract working at Six Senses? Like who? Obviously, it's quite high ticket. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
Like, what type of investors are you actually attracting? Are they flippers? Are they end users? Like,
so it's a good question actually. Like I would say it's a weird one. Six Senses on the Palm. I felt like we originally sold it to a lot of people who were just buying as investors, and then they've seen it kind of coming to life, and they're like, "Oh, actually, no, I think I'm going to keep this one." And I've got so many people who are still the existing buyers who bought from us 3 years ago, which is quite mad, really. Six Senses in the marina, I think we're going to see the same thing, but a lot of people are buying to flip because of the data from Six Senses Palm. Yeah. Like they saw the transactions and the appreciation for what the owners of Six Senses Palm made, and they're like, I want a piece of the pie kind of thing. So we've seen a lot more of the investors who are buying to resell on Six Senses Marina.
How do you, not to go directly into your strategy, but how do you advise, because obviously they're using, I get why they're using Six Senses and Select Group on the Palm because it's the same developer, but obviously the Palm's the Palm.
Correct.
And Dubai Marina is Dubai Marina.
Yeah.
How do you help them step through like the figures and their expectations? Because the investors on the Palm might have seen X amount in the last couple of years. Are they expecting the exact same thing in Marina, or are they expecting a haircut on that?
Very good question. So I think the way that I do it is on the price per square foot.
Yeah.
So Six Senses on the Palm, we started the sale price at 5,500 dirham a square foot. Back way back. No, it was around 5,000 actually a square foot. Yeah, it's not low price.
No.
Now it's transacting at like 7.5, 8.5, 9,000 a square foot.
what we love to see.
Yeah, what we love to see.
Yeah, that's
whereas
crazy appreciation.
Marina, the starting sale price was like 2,700 dirham a square foot. So it's almost half the starting point than Palm. Again,
I like that though, that they let that reflect.
Yeah, 100%.
They could have been greedy with that.
We could have been so greedy. And that's when I spoke about this to somebody else. It's like the developer has to allow for the investor margin, like the opportunity margin, like to be able to, like we could have so easily just priced it at 5,000 a square foot.
Yeah.
But would our buyers have made that level of growth? I don't think so.
And then would they come back?
Exactly. 70% of our buyers are repeat buyers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's so much. So Marina, we were starting the sale price 2,700. I think the blended average is like 3,800 across the entire tower. Now, Six Senses, I mean, if you look at the 2 beds in Six Senses Palm, we were selling them anywhere between 10 and 15 million. Mm-hmm. Keep easy numbers, right? 10 million.
Yeah.
It was on a 40-60 payment plan. So they've paid 4 million. These are really round, rough numbers, by the way.
No, I like this.
Now they're reselling for 15, 16, 17 million. So now someone has made 6 million on a 4 million investment.
Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah. And this is obviously, we're still talking about Palm, and it happened all the way across the board. Like my clients bought from me in June 2023, a signature villa for 100 million. In 10 months, they resold it for 122. But they only paid 40 million.
Yeah, yeah.
So now they made 22 million on 40 million because they resold it. And I mean, that's a very short time frame that they did that.
Yeah, 55% in less than a year is ridiculous.
Precisely.
maths.
Yeah, no, that was
Thank you.
quick. I mean, I know the maths because they were my clients, but like that was quick. I'm quite impressed. But it's just, what I'm trying to say is that the percent, no, I don't think, do I think Six Senses Marina is going to reach 7, 8, 9,000 dirham a square foot? Probably not. Like, I'd love to think so, but I don't think it's going to get to like 9,000 a square foot. I think it's quite difficult for anything in the marina to get to that price point. Palm, like you say, it's Palm.
Yeah.
And that, for some reason, justifies, like, it does.
It's in its own little league
it's like a
of its.
postcode. It's like, okay, you live in Mayfair.
Yeah.
All right, even if your house is an absolute dive, it's going to be triple the price of someone who lives down the road because of the postcode, right?
Which is fair.
100%. I mean, it's
postcode
like that.
privilege.
Postcode privilege, 100%. So, but what I think will remain the same is the percentage uplift.
Yeah.
Because it's the same developer, it's the same interior designer, it's the same brand, same number of amenities. Bearing in mind, there's 62,000 square foot of amenities on Palm and 61,000 in Marina.
Yeah.
Like the same on a resort, the same in a vertical tower, which is unheard of.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah. So I think that's when you can compare it on a percentage uplift rather than just purely
This is how much they make.
yeah. Okay, they've made they're selling at 9,000 a square foot. Forget that.
Yeah.
The percentage uplift.
And what is the percentage uplift?
Depends.
If I was coming in at like launch,
55 in 10 months.
Literally. I mean, I would say like now, like, okay, if we're selling something now at like 3,300 dirham a square foot, that's what they would be buying at. I think at a very overly conservative 4,800 to 5,000 dirham a square foot resale price just before handover is very achievable.
And when's handover?
2028.
Okay.
So you're talking, but again, 30% in.
Yeah.
That's your
Yeah,
only.
that's
So the return on
Yeah.
that's when it becomes lucrative. When people actually see that you're only putting in 30%, the return on your equity is ridiculous.
Yeah.
You
It's
can
a bit
free
like
extra money.
leveraging the
It's
bank,
leveraging
to be honest.
it is. It is.
Same thing.
Yeah.
Same thing. And that's our biggest USP, to be honest.
Yeah, because
Huge.
EMA, for example, they're now pretty much on 80/20s.
Yeah, which is a lot.
Yeah, and that is a huge change on your ROI.
Yeah. And that's
Massive.
probably why you guys you're not as keen on looking at off plan because you're like,
Hey,
what
don't
could
say
we
that.
do? What could we do with that 80%? Like you could buy something ready and do your business strategy. Do you know what I mean? So
the reason why we've not focused on it isn't because we don't know enough about it for us to go and put money into it.
teach you.
Exactly. Yeah. But it's also because at the moment we're focused on obviously all of these investment projects. We like
100%.
skin in the game in these as well. And I just think that we can't go to an investor, a potential investor, unless they're willing to park their money until handover. And I think that whilst you get the odd one here and there where you've got a distressed seller and for whatever reason they can't make a payment and they're looking to sell at OP, what's OP stand for again?
Yeah, original price.
Original price,
Yeah.
that's it, thank you. So unless you're getting those sort of niche opportunities where you're going to be in and out within a year, for our investors who like the quick turnaround of what we offer and within sort of...
Very true. Your business models, like, it would suit that type of situation, which is, again, like you say, hard to come by because, especially when the market's on the increase, because they don't really need that distressed sale.
No.
Do you know what I mean? We have that so much, like, I'm looking for something OP, and I'm like, this is, put it this way, like with off-plan developers, like we will sell out our tower and then at handover or completion, usually, like in past years, we will get back in cancellation like 20, 25 units sometimes. Maybe more, maybe less, but like 20, 25 units, things like that. In our recent handovers, 0.
That's crazy.
0. Getting 0 cancellations because...
Drop the mic.
Yeah.
because they can, even if they sell it on secondary for like a distressed deal, it's still way more than what they bought it for.
Yeah.
So like, why would they give it back to us?
Yeah.
Why? Borrow 70% or whatever's your amount from someone and you can give it back to them the next day.
Yeah, literally.
So it's like, that's been a big sign. So I think that's why it is hard to find, like you say, those like distressed deals in off plan because...
And then by the time we're able to pitch that to an investor, it's probably already gone.
Yeah, 100%.
So-
That's very true.
So but I think eventually when we've got a bit more to diversify our own portfolio with, I definitely think we would be stepping into, because what you've just said then, we don't need to mess about with the banks. You've got, as long as my thing as well is just from other stories that you know, we've heard it, and I alluded to it earlier, when some buyers will go and do an off plan without having all of those funds in place, or like almost a guarantee that they're going to have the funding in place, so they're kind of banking on getting the rest of that funding later on down the line. And I think that's sometimes where the risk could lie, because it's not, I mean, look, over 3 years you're going to keep making money over those 3 years, hopefully, but if something goes south, I don't know, I just think that
it's a risk.
Yeah.
Do you think that you have to keep it in for 3 years though? Like you're saying that the best time to flip really is like 6 months out from handover,
or just after handover.
So if you think of that as you say it, like if that's, I'm assuming that you're saying that that's the best time to sell because that's when the appreciation peaks.
So I would say there's 2 times when you would see appreciation peak in most projects. When the developer's sold out because their only option is you.
Yeah.
I can't go to if you're the only one selling, I'm like, maybe I could go to the developer. Maybe they've got something in their back pocket that they've not put out. You know, if that's not an option, my only option is you, and you can dictate the price in the market. The second time is just before handover, because off-plan buyers, so 3-year off-plan buyers, they're visionaries. You're buying into the developer and you're buying a vision.
Yeah.
Not everybody is like that, and not everybody has that capability. So you will have a pool of buyers who can do that, and then you'll have another pool of buyers who come in at the last minute. They will pay a slight premium because
now they've seen it.
Now they can see it. It's tangible. They know it's coming in the next few months. You know,
they can mortgage it.
They can mortgage it. Exactly. That's a big one. So yes, again, that's why you would see another, a peak.
There,
yeah. So I think, and especially in the luxury premium sort of section, you will see that because people will buy, off plan at a lower price, and then people who are buying into a luxury development, they don't want to wait, and they're moving into it for an end user.
Yeah.
They don't want to wait 3 years. They want it now. They want it there. Actually, they wanted it yesterday.
Yeah.
And they want to turn up with their suitcase and they want to start living like there's no patience, especially in Dubai. I feel like it's just 100 miles an hour.
Yeah.
So they'll pay a premium just to have something that they can just walk straight into.
Well, that's exactly kind of what we leverage by making a turnkey
place.
Yeah.
It's because people just want it and they just want to walk in and it be nice.
And they're just like, oh, I'm home kind of thing.
Rather than having to live out of a suitcase and do the renovation and stay
the classic,
confined
like in the
bedroom.
UK, eating pizza or fish and chips off the floor. Like no one wants that.
Just moved in.
They just like give me a fully
renovated house. Yeah, just let me turn up. So I would say Six Senses, fingers crossed, is going to have an extra one, and that will be when Six Senses Palm is fully up and running. The hotel's open, the restaurants are open, and because then it's tangible. Yeah. It's a different location, but the brand that has never been here, and most people have probably, ever stayed in a Six Senses hotel?
No, but I've seen the one in Amman that is on the list.
Ziggy Bay, mega, honestly. Yeah.
Have you stayed there?
Yeah, years ago though, like a couple of years ago. But honestly, it is.
Yeah, it looks special.
People don't realise how incredible they are, and I know I'm a bit biased, but I actually believe in them. I
don't think that's biased. I just think that's believing in your product.
And it's not because I'm paid to do so. I genuinely would buy it if I had that money. Would 100% stay in the hotels everywhere in the world if I could. Yeah. So it's I think when people again can go there, see it, see exactly what's going to be there, then people are going to be like, I don't want to pay 9,000-10,000 a square foot, but I could fork out 4,500 or 3,000 dirhams a square foot and 30%. Do you know what I mean? It's just going to draw the attention to it in that way. So let's see.
And obviously, if you're going into off plan, I know obviously that
that's how you succeed.
I know that obviously Six Senses is...
Honestly, people do that all the time, by the way.
I bet you must do it all the
time. No,
I
don't, but people do it all the time. Honestly, the amount of times people mispronounce our projects, like Penissuela, Penishula,
Pensacola.
Honestly, I've genuinely had
Princess Consuela, banana hammock.
Honestly, it's so bad.
No, but obviously it's quite high ticket. Like you're saying, if you could afford to invest there, great news. But what if you can't? If you can't get into Six Senses, how if you were giving advice to someone like us who might be starting out an off plan, what can they look for from a developer that would signify whether it's a good choice or whether it's a bad choice? Like, what can you look for? Obviously, Six Senses is still new to the region, but there must have been something that was great about it. How do you spot that in different...
I think it's a good question. I mean, from a branded development perspective, it's a totally different ballgame. Obviously, you've got to look for a brand with history, with a reputation, you know, because aside from the developer, like the brand chooses who they work with. It's not the other way around. It's not like we go out and we're like, you're working with us. No. They choose which developer they can trust to put their name on it. So branded developments are slightly different. You can look for, again, the brand background. But I think you can apply the same method to the developer.
Yeah.
Like, what have they delivered before? What have they got in the market? Okay, if they're new to the region, what have they delivered in other places? Like, you're seeing a lot of UK developers coming over here, etc. I think the other main things are the longevity, in terms of, like I mentioned earlier, the quality, like the finishes, how long they last for, etc. I would look for the locations that they build, because, which sounds silly, but like if a developer is only building in Damac Hills 5 or Ranches 6, like for much, but no, honestly, because it's coming. You're laughing, but it's coming. I promise you, it will come. But like if they're only building further out, it means that they potentially, the liquid, like to buy those plots is much less.
Yeah.
Doesn't mean it's a bad thing, but like this is one of the reasons why I love Select. Like we only build in key locations, Marina, Palm, downtown, business, always near the water. Like sometimes it does come back to basic principles, location.
Yeah. Always. Everything comes back to that, to be fair.
It always does. And then I think you can look at occupancy rates of those developments. Like, okay, and these are like published online. You can see like what percentage of the buildings, like what average occupancy is there year round. Do people choose to want to live in their existing buildings as opposed to the one next door? Like these are all things
a bit
you
like
can,
Trustpilot, but for buildings.
Kind of, yeah, honestly. And these are published online. Like I think we carry like a yearly average, like 87% occupancy in the marina, which is so high. Yeah, and as an investor, like buying to like put it on rent or whatever, like that's what you look for. You want there to be demand for your building. You don't want your apartment or villa to sit vacant. That's the worst thing you could have.
Yeah, right.
So I think they're key points.
Do you include, I don't even know if it's possible, but obviously we had on our first podcast people that go and do rent to rent or owners that will Airbnb, for example. Do they do that in the Six Senses development? And are they included in the occupancy rates?
In the occupancy rates, I'm not sure. It's a very good question. I would need to check. I'm not sure. I think it's probably would be slightly different with Brie and her husband that we came on because they sublease. Yeah. So it would come up that it's occupied 100% of the time because
they've got the full-time rent.
Yeah. So that would be a slight discrepancy. So but again, potentially.
In the grand scheme of things, it's not going to move the needle too much.
In terms of Six Senses, so we actually put in the SPA that there's no short-term rental allowed in a project like that.
Interesting.
Mainly because because it's an exclusive residence, we just don't want it to become a place where people are like checking in and out with suitcases 100%. All the time. You know, we want it to be a place where people are surrounded by like-minded people who aren't just staying for a night. They're people that have bought that, invested in that lifestyle and are choosing to live there. Yeah. Whether they stay there for a week a year or 52 weeks a year, it's neither here nor there. But
the network that comes with it.
Yeah, exactly. So we exclude from most of our branded residences, we exclude Airbnb.
Which is another niche. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the one thing, just to add to what you were saying in terms of what to look for, that I've got in my head, because obviously with what we do, we want to be in and out. I think that it moves the needle quite a bit on the ROI if you've got a developer that's consistently delivering as and when they actually say they're going to in terms of a handover date versus one. Because out here, what's the leeway before there's any delay penalties?
Usually about 18 months.
Yeah, which is crazy because if you've got... I don't know.
Before you can even be like, excuse me, can we get some money back? Yeah. Minimum 18 months from whatever's in your SPA. Yeah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's
people forget. People don't realise.
No, that's something to look for, because if you've got in your head that you're going to be handing over, and because some people want to be moving into these as well. So and by the way, I know that select group and six centres aren't like that.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the other developers
no,
that you need to
it's
consider.
It's common practice here. Like we get it all the time. It's like, oh, I'm handing over in 2028, and they're like, I'll see you in 2030. I'm like, no, it's a bit different for select, but okay,
fair enough.
Like,
I
can't argue, because the norm in the like the region is that you just add on a year or two from whatever
what they say.
But like you kind of, but it's like you taking a haircut. You kind of almost have to, like, if you're giving the people these numbers on off plan, just add the extra. Just add 6 months on.
Yeah.
Just add something on to the end. Like, a buffer. So
you'd rather under promise and over deliver rather than say it'll be here in January 2025.
You might have to rename this podcast under promise and over deliver.
Yeah, we've said that a few times, haven't we?
Yeah, but it's true.
Yeah, literally.
You have to.
So obviously you've talked about the huge success that people can have, and
what can go wrong?
Literally.
Yeah.
Like, what's the best way? Like, what's the fastest route to lose money in off plan if you're flipping it? What do you recommend if someone's trying to lose money?
Yeah, this is what I wouldn't do if I was trying to invest. Okay. Go with a developer no one's ever heard of.
Yeah, fair enough.
As their probably brand new development. Like, that's their first project. Risky.
I feel sorry for those developers.
I know, but it's
because you've got to start somewhere.
It's.
I know.
But I get it.
But then this is when you start seeing if somebody is offering 12% commission to agents. Okay, 12 is a bit high, but like 7-8% commission to agents, right? So they're really incentivizing agents to come.
When does it become bribery?
When does it become slightly illegal? Like, like people are getting offered watches, Range Rovers, like, and I'm like, well, clearly something is wrong here.
Yeah.
Like, if you're having to literally really incentivize. Here's a 10-year post-handover payment plan where you pay 1%. They're doing it because they're new to the market and they need something that's going to set them aside from somebody else. Some of them are great, but you've got to do your due diligence.
Yeah.
So I would say, yes, it potentially is a risk to go with the developer that, is brand new or doesn't have as good as a track record. I would say trust every agent with ridiculous basing your numbers off of like the best case scenario. Never base your numbers off best case scenario. Like,
that's 101. We apply that.
Yeah, 100%.
You've got to do it on the minimum that you want to do.
Yeah.
So many people just like, yeah, but what if we could make 4? I'm like, yeah, that would be great. And you can add that as a separate spreadsheet, a slide, like if you want, if it makes you feel better. But like, let's buy based on this.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think what else, like in terms of.
Is there anything in timing that can really budget up?
I mean, people that think they're just going to be in and out within a couple of months.
Yeah.
Like,
and the cash flow to supplement.
Yeah. Not having the cash flow to coming. And people, this is another one. People don't check the percentage that needs to be paid before they can resell. Because a lot of the time, like, they'll have an initial deposit of like 24%. And then in 6 months, they'll have another 10 or 20 or 5 or whatever. And they think they can sell it in the gap. So they don't think that I need to find the other 20%. Like, they just don't think about it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's a lot of money. Like, okay, if you're buying 10.3 million, imagine.
Yeah.
Like, you're talking about, it's a lot of money.
Adios.
Yeah. And then you're screwed. So you've really got to do your due diligence on what price the developer needs in order for you to be able to resell it. And I think just thinking that you can resell it within like such a short period of time.
How do you think delays affect, like, if you were a flipper like us or an investor who's listening to this, like, how do delay, because even EMA are delayed, like, and they're obviously hugely reputable in the area, like, how do delays affect flipping?
I think they only affect if people don't take into consideration the norms in the market. Like, if you don't take into consideration when you're buying, there's a potential that it's going to be a year late, then you're going to run into trouble.
Yeah.
To be honest, like, it will always happen. Whereas if you're slightly more prepared and you think, okay, they're telling me 3 years, but there's a potential it could be 3.5 or 4. Again, base your numbers on that, because a lot of the time people who are flipping, you are locking that money into that for X amount of time. Then you've got to weigh up, okay, what percentage have I got locked away? And are there other investments that I could make which would give me higher per year? If you stick it in a bank, potentially you're getting, a high interest account, like 6%, 4%, 5%, whatever per year.
Yeah.
So is your investment going to do that in that time frame? Otherwise, for people who are flipping, it's quite hard to lock away those funds for that amount of time. But again, it comes down to what percentage is due during construction. 30% to lock away is okay, but 80% with a delay, it means you're really locking away a big chunk of cash that could be used elsewhere.
Yeah.
So it's having that conversation with the buyer to make sure that like they're comfortable with those things.
And in terms of like liquidity, assuming that you've paid, like for Select Group, it's 40% before you can resell. So feeling comfortable that you've paid your 40% so you can resell if you needed to. Because I think like definitely a misconception that I had when it came to off-plan is that it was just tied up for 3 years and there's nothing you can do about that really. No. Assuming you've paid your 40%, what would you advise to investors as a time period before they can actually get that? Like how quick is it to sell? If you'd paid your 40% and you needed the cash, what is that time horizon looking like to get your money back if you sell it? Obviously, it depends on the development, like if it's going to sell quickly. But for you specifically with Select Group, 6 Senses, like how quickly can you get your money back?
Good question. I mean, it would depend again on the unit that you chose as well. Like if somebody chose like the best unit we have in the building, okay, forget 6 Senses, but like actually don't forget 6 Senses. I mean, 6 Senses on the Palm, if someone turned around to me tomorrow and was like, oh, it's different because it's about to hand over, but this could have happened anytime. Yeah. If someone turned around to me and said, I'm selling my unit for OP, a week, 2 weeks.
Yeah.
It would like literally someone
So
would
it's actually still quite a liquid investment then?
Yes.
Past the point at which you can actually sell it.
Yeah. But again, you need something niche. You need something that people are still looking for in the market. If there's 10 others and it's you start having that competition. But yeah, I mean, it can be done pretty quickly. I mean, because people who are buying, it's not like anyone who would be buying that has to, they're buying cash. So you're not going to wait for like mortgage valuations and all that rubbish. It would literally just be, you've bought cash because you've paid 40% cash and your buyer is going to be cash also. Yeah. So it would be, off-plan transactions are pretty quick. Yeah. To be honest. So if you find a buyer, it is pretty quick. That
is good. We're talking about the peaks in terms of when to potentially sell was obviously if you make more than the 40% payment at the beginning, you can sell sort of straight away on if the project's sold out and then close to handover. Is there anywhere in that whole life cycle where it would go a bit lower? Like for example, if Select Group you've got to pay 30% or 40%, can't remember what you said, at the point at which that's the normal time at which most of the owners are paying that installment, do you see a slight dip because you've got quite a few owners selling at the same time or not really?
Never really. That's honestly good. It's a bit mad and especially now it's like
you'd expect that.
Yeah, I know, because I'd never actually looked at it from that perspective because I know what you mean, but in terms of ours, we've not seen that historically, particularly more so. I mean, we've had 2 slight instances where it was different. Like we sold 6 Senses on the Palm when the Russian war was happening. I would say a lot of 6 Senses on the Palm was bought 100% payment paid. Yeah.
Because it was a place we would KYC's done and everything still.
100%. So that was slightly different. So they were kind of like, it was just, it can be sold whenever at that point. But with 6 Senses in Marina, we do it on a 30% plus your DLD payment, and the 30% is paid now. So that's it. Yeah. 30%'s done, so you can resell it whenever you want. So we're not really seeing that dip because it's been a bit of a mix. Yeah. And I would say most people have their own kind of model in their head of when they want to sell and things like that. So we don't really see that dip, which is good. So
just going back to what you mentioned there about the Palm, with 6 Senses on the Marina versus the Palm, what's sort of the makeup between the investors? Do you have a lot of people that are living out here? Do you have a lot of overseas investors?
Good question. Our Select client as a whole is very high net worth European. Yeah.
That's the finish that you're targeting as well.
Exactly, yeah. Because we will never be the lowest price per square foot developer. Because we pay one of the highest price per square foot for our plots. Yeah. Look where our plots are as opposed to anywhere else. Like we you know, we don't just buy anything and anything. We are very precise. You know, we're launching 1 or 2 projects a year, whereas a lot of developers are busting those out monthly. 2 a month, 3 a month, and it's just like a launch.
Yeah.
Whereas we're very picky about where we build. So we usually attract like high net worth European. Six Senses Marina has been very UK. Huge,
Love that.
huge, super UK investors, because they're seeing the benefit of branded developments. They're seeing the benefit of buying off plan. They want easy ways to buy here without, you know, having an Emirates ID and all of those things. It also gets them a visa most of the time, because the amount they're investing is quite high. But I would say from a split investor end user, most of the time when you're selling off plan, most people will say that they're investors. Whether they're buying to flip, I mean, everyone's an investor if they're buying, but like in terms of, okay, most people will say they're buying to resell. Whether that happens, I've sold probably, the split is probably like 70-30, 70% investor, 30% end users.
But you said that changes actually towards the end, towards handover.
Most of the time. Like,
which is, that's a good exit strategy
fair.
for the actual investor themselves, is that if they're buying into something that they'll actually live in, that's always a good, because then you're not forced to sell, because, you know, for whatever reason, market, you know.
I say this to people all the time. I'm like, everyone's so excited by the investment. What about the outvestment? What are your exit strategies? The more you have, the better.
Yeah, 100%.
Can you resell it? Yes. Can I live in it? Yeah, I could live in it. Can I rent it?
Yeah. I'd hate to live in the Six
That's
Senses.
what I mean. But some people buy something purely based on numbers.
Yeah.
Which is fine. But like, you are eliminating the fact, like, would you live in that? No way. I would never live in that, but it gives me good numbers.
I want to live in every single flip that we've ever finished.
That's my head in.
You're like, can we move in?
Honestly, every single time it's finished, I'm like,
Oh, I like this one.
I could see myself here. I could see myself really settling in.
I love that. But yeah, it's like, it's thinking about the outvestment, and the more exit strategies you have, like, can it go on rent? Yes. Could we easily resell it? Yes. Could we live in it? Yes. Great. Like, for me, that's like your perfect like off-plan investment, because your avenues are so broad, rather than like narrowing everything so like, oh my God, we have to resell that, and we've bought such a specific unit. We need some, like, there's 1 in 100 people that would buy it. No, you need to eliminate I would buy it if. When you're reselling, you've got to buy something that the majority of people would want.
Yeah.
And you might need to pay more for it in the beginning.
Yeah.
You've got to buy the premium unit that everybody would want, because then you increase your pool of people that you're selling to.
On the back
so
end.
true.
Yeah.
Like, probably a higher floor, probably a really nice view, probably a larger unit, probably a better layout, all of these things. If you sacrifice on any of those, when you come to resell, someone might be
there's something.
I would have bought it if it had this.
Yeah.
You want to eliminate that altogether as much as you can.
Yeah.
That's your best.
Obviously, you can't have like, you can't physically have the best apartment as all the apartments.
Yeah.
And that price point, because I always think like, obviously, like Waf said, we're looking to get into like villas, and we're looking to go bigger and bigger, which naturally the price point is higher and higher. And I always think at that level, are people, like, if you've got that much money, are you not just going to get the most expensive one anyway? Or does that apply? Like, how much discrepancy is there?
I feel like I know what you're trying to ask.
Like, if you can buy it for 10 million, is it correct to say that person who could buy that for 10 million wouldn't just like, well, I can actually buy it for 15 million? Or does everyone at that price level still have their boundaries when it comes to like affordability?
If anything, they have them more.
Really?
Honestly, that's how the rich stay rich, bro.
Yeah.
I'm not joking. Like, if anything,
I love that.
Yeah, like, I would say if anything, they have them more. Like, the amount of times, I mean, I've been looking at, we've got units on like 97th floor, 98th floor, 99th floor. These are half floor penthouses at 26, 27 million. I have clients, obviously the price increases per floor.
Yeah.
It goes up a certain amount per floor. And they're like, show me the view on 96. And I'll show them. Okay, show me on 97. It's in my eyes, it's the
exactly
same, right?
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, show me 96 again. And I'm like, what are we looking for here? And they're trying to justify the price increase.
Yeah.
Like, you could just, and they'll be like, no, it's no different. I'll go 95. So it's like,
no, I like that though.
yeah, because they're like, where's the justification in like the price point and stuff? And we see that like across the board. Like we'll see that all the way through. So yeah, I would say it's like more so. People are more like, yeah, I could go buy the most expensive, but actually I could buy the one at 10 million and then I've got 5 million to go and invest that's going to pay for my 10 million.
Yeah, no.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. For what you do, obviously you mentioned that you were, it's a bit like you're in PR because, you know, if you're a broker, you're probably going to do viewings or if you're an off-plan broker, I think there's potential showrooms or whatever that they can go and see. Given that you're on the sales side, are you working from your office a lot? Are you out meeting other brokers? And how what's your day-to-day look like in what you do?
My day-to-day on a Friday should be me sat in Duck Hook in Dubai Hills because it's just full of real estate agents.
Yeah, 100%.
Honestly, I should just be
Get you around the golfing in the morning as well.
Yeah, just start being a caddy or something. Honestly, but yeah, I mean, I try and spend, like, obviously if I've got clients and brokers come into the office, I try and do all my like broker briefings essentially in the office because we've got the model. It helps people. Like we always say to brokers to come to the office before they come with the client, so it's not like a new, because it's obvious.
So they know their way around.
Yeah, where they know their way around, they know where the parking is.
They go to the wrong floor.
Because it's really obvious. If an agent's never been to the office and
they see the model and they're like, wow.
Oh, wow, yeah. It happens, honestly.
I never knew that.
Really? And it happens.
Yeah.
So we always say, like, come to the office for the briefings, but otherwise I'm just like, I prefer to be out the office. Like, I'll go to other agencies, like I'll go to White & Co, I'll go to Lux, I'll go to Driven, I'll go to Allsop. Like, I'll just go because it's much
I like
easier.
the Driven office.
It's very nice.
Yeah,
It's nice.
it's a good office.
But like, it's much easier for one person to move to 300 people than it is for me to sit in my office like fairy princess and expect everybody to like come to the office, because you'll get a fifth of the people come down. Whereas if I go to the office, I'll have everybody.
Oh, I love that. It's proactive.
Yeah, I much prefer it. Like, and then you're like, the amount of conversations or deals I've had come off the back of that.
Just being there.
Yeah. And that's how I use my social media as well.
Well,
and talking about that, where can people find you?
You can tag my
I'll put a little print screen in.
Yeah.
Find me here. But yeah, that's my main one. So.
Oh, well, thank you so much. I've actually learnt so much. So
you're so welcome.
Yeah, me too.
Amazing.
Thanks for having me on, and hopefully you can buy some off plan soon.
100%. And that is coffee, by the way, not Bailey's.
Yeah, we're not just like having a little pre-Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Love it. Well, thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.